to the Fit Life and Beer. Today we're going to talk about different ways to do cardio. And I know probably some of you are thinking like, wait, I thought there was only one type of cardio. Well, there's actually about 5 different ways that we can do cardio that make it a little bit more enjoyable, but we still get the same effect, sometimes even a better effect depending on what the goal is. And but before we do that, today's beer that we have here is from Heavy Seas, and it's called a Loose Cannon. It's a double IPA. It's an American IPA. It's basically had hops added into the brew process 3 times. And it's a pretty good beer. It's definitely not one of your more sessionable beers. It's 7.5% ABV, so it's a little bit stronger, but it's a nice kind of beer when you're just gonna have maybe 1 or 2 sitting around, maybe in the evening outside, just kind of enjoying the night or whatever that way. So before we get into, or as we get into cardio, the first thing we'll talk about is kind of your traditional cardio. This is what most people think of when they do cardio. It's what most people have done with cardio. This is your running, your jogging, maybe your power walking, the elliptical, recumbent bike, regular bike, things like that. It's just kind of where you go out, you're going to go maybe 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 50, 60, maybe more than that. It's just that traditional kind of slow and steady paced cardio. And some people really enjoy this. It helps them feel better and helps them clear their head a little bit. It's not always the most effective way to get your cardio in, but it does have its place, especially if you're into like the running sports and things like that. And but we do see it work best almost for about 20 to 30 minutes max on days that we're not doing our strength training. So we always want to make sure we get our strength training in 2 to 3 days a week as our first workout choices before we get into our cardio. So after you've gotten to maybe 3 strength workouts, if you like the traditional type of cardio, this is something you can do. You'll find it helps your body recover best when it's kept between 20 and 30 minutes. But again, if you enjoy going a little bit longer, if your sport and your activity and stuff like that requires you to have longer distance duration and endurance for that, then by all means go and do that. So that's your first one, is kind of the traditional cardio. The second one we're going to move in here is kind of your low intensity leisure cardio. So with our low intensity kind of leisure cardio, this is probably our most underrated form of cardio, basically because it doesn't feel like we're doing anything strenuous. But from a standpoint of helping your body recover from workouts, just feeling good, clearing your head, stress relief, all that kind of stuff, this is one of the most beneficial things that you can do. So this is things like just going out for a walk in the evening, and there's not really a destination that you're going for. There's no set mileage, set time, set pace. You're just going out, you're just enjoying the neighborhood, enjoying nature, the woods, wherever you are that you're walking. It also can be bike riding with like friends and family. Again, we're not like competing like, hey, I've got to get to this place before you or anything. It's just going out, just again enjoying being outside. Kayaking can fall into this kind of activity. So again, it's kind of your general activity. You're moving. You may be doing this again 20 minutes, maybe an hour, maybe it's a longer hike day, and you're doing 2 hours of this. But again, we're just doing this to get our heart rate up a little bit. But again, we're not trying to kill ourselves with it. And the interesting thing that we've seen is that with a lot of clients, that once they have their 3 workouts a week and they add this on top of it, basically daily, you can get away with doing this. That they tend to get better results. Cortisol levels will decrease. We've seen that with a lot of the research. But so again, just get out, walk maybe 20 minutes every day if you can, and do that as pretty much as often as you can with the leisure type of cardio. The next one I'm going to talk about is the HIIT. This is a little bit more of the sexy cardio that a lot of people, it's a big buzzword right now. A lot of people are doing it, but not everybody's doing it necessarily right. So we're going to talk about how to do HIIT properly and get the most out of it with your workouts. With our HIIT training, a lot of people are saying that they're doing HIITs. Most of them, probably, 90% of them, they really aren't doing true HIIT. A true HIIT workout is going to be about 10 to 20 minutes max, but it's going to be a short duration, all-out effort. So again, we're looking with this, our rest to work ratio is going to be about 3 to 1 or 4 to 1, maybe even longer. So this could be something where we're doing like 10 seconds of all-out effort. Really 20 seconds of all-out effort is our top max. Once we go over that, we're really no longer doing HIIT. Our bodies can't sustain that all-out effort that long, for much longer than that. And then if we do maybe a 15 seconds interval, we're not resting for 45 to 60 seconds. So we're really letting our heart rate come back down, and then we're hitting it hard again. And we're just gonna basically repeat that process over and over for somewhere between 10, 20 minutes. If you're doing it right, you're not gonna need more than that. You're gonna gas yourself. Each one of those is gonna kind of build up. The downside to this is, there's actually a couple of them. The downside is you're limited on options with this. We've kind of seen HIIT start to get bastardized a little bit with, people are doing it with like a kettlebell swing, or they're doing it with, push-ups or whatever. Well, maybe you can do push-ups really, really fast, but it's not necessarily total body where you're getting a lot of speed out of it. Kettlebell swings, you can't do kettlebell swings fast. There's only really one pace that you can go with that. So again, that's not the best choice exercise. What works best with this are things like the airdyne or assault bike, the battling ropes, medicine ball slams, sled push, and maybe getting into like some hill sprints and sprinting, depending on the client. But these are things that we can go all-out effort with for a short period of time and really spike that heart rate up. The other downside to this is with clients that don't move real well or have trouble moving quickly and things like that, this doesn't work well with them because they just can't move fast enough to get their heart rate up. So HIIT's not for everyone. It's definitely for your higher functioning clients, and again, it works well when we keep it into that shorter workout duration, 20 minutes max. Most people do well somewhere between 10 and 15 minutes. And also, if you have a very high stress life, doing more HIIT isn't going to be the answer to your workouts or for your fitness. So you want to keep that pulled back, because the intensity is just going to be a little bit too much. It's just going to add more stress to your body. The HIIT workouts are very stressful on your body, and they take a lot of time to recover from. So if you're doing them, keep them about 10 to 20 minutes. Keep it simple exercises that you can move fast, really spike your heart rate up, and keep your work period between 10 to 20 seconds. Rest period is going to be somewhere between 45 to 90 seconds of rest. Next one, and this is what most people do when they say that they're doing HIIT, is kind of our medium intensity interval training. So with the medium intensity interval training, again, this is what most people are doing when they say that they're doing HIIT. This is your interval workouts that go longer than 20 minutes. This is your timings that's like a 30-30, 20-40, 40-20, 30-15, all of those time periods, because you can't go with an all-out effort, and you also they don't allow for a full recovery. So these do become a little bit more aerobic versus anaerobic, which the HIIT is pretty much pure anaerobic endurance, where this gets into a little bit more of the aerobic system and the endurance there that we're working on. So these workouts, they're anywhere 30 minutes, 45 minutes. Typically, like what we do with this, we have a lot of stations set up. People are rotating through different exercises, movements, things like that. And these work really well for a lot of clients. They don't stress the body as hard as like a HIIT does, or even a Tabata. They complement the strength workouts really well. So again, if we have a client that is doing strength 2 days a week, they may come in and they may do one of these workouts anywhere from 1 to 2 times a week. Again, there. And that works really well. So again, the medium intensity, it's probably our most sustainable type of cardio exercise. It's usually our most enjoyable because we have more of a variety of exercise in there. Where with our HIITs and our Tabatas, we do get limited on our exercise selection. All right, the last part that we're going to talk about is the Tabata training. So this is similar to HIIT, except it's even shorter. So with traditional Tabata, it's only a 4-minute workout. The trick here is we're doing 20 seconds of exercise that is an all-out effort. Pretend like you camping and a bear's coming, you got to run for your life, and then you get a quick 10-second break to basically take 2 or 3 deep breaths, and then it's back on your ass and you got to run again. So that's how true Tabata has to be set up. So this really limits us with our exercise selection because we need things that we can just go all out. Again, the Airdyne or assault bikes work well. We can also get into doing some things with like speed squats, or we can get into some things with sprinting, hill sprints. Sled pushes work okay with it. They're not always the best choice. Med ball slams will work pretty well with this as well too. So again, we get limited on exercise choice here. The reason that this is a true Tabata is the original study was set up this way. What's happened is a lot of people, they've started doing like, oh, I'm only doing Tabata training. Well, you can't be doing Tabata training if you're doing a half-hour workout. Now you're basically just doing really hard cardio, or whatever, medium intensity cardio, just at a 20-10 round. So with this, we want to take one thing, we're going to do 20 seconds, we're going to rest 10, we're going to repeat that 8 times, workout's over. Again, this is one of those things when you do it right, you know it because you're just absolutely gassed, and this is one of the more painful workouts to get through. Again, even though it's only 4 minutes, it absolutely just crushes you. So again, these are all different things that you can give a try. You don't have to do all these in every week. In fact, I really don't recommend doing that. These are just different ways to get some cardio work in, to challenge your body different ways. Some of these, like our hits and our Tabatas, they're going to build a greater work capacity than our traditional cardio or even the medium intensity. Not that those won't build that up. The daily kind of leisure cardio, that's probably the most beneficial for our body. It helps our cells regenerate, it helps to clear our heads, it helps us feel better in general. But they're all different ways. Again, we want 2 to 3 strength workouts each week. After that, sprinkling in some of these cardio for a workout or two, it makes for a good plan. It keeps your body feeling good, keeps you healthy, and helps you achieve your goals.